All right. Welcome to the podcast today, Matt. There's a pretty wild story happening in tech and AI right now. I think it's got a lot of big implications for maybe even like OpenAI and some of the big players, but pretty much Stability AI. So they invented Stable Diffusion, which obviously is like the technology that every single image generator is using. You probably know more about this than I do because you went pretty deep on image generating tech projects. So you're practically a Stable Diffusion developer at this point. They've had a whole bunch of like money problems. So there was this article that came out in The Information like a week ago that said essentially they haven't been able to raise new funding. They're like this huge thing that everyone knows and everyone uses, but they did like a lot of it open source, so it was free. And I don't want to say they almost went bankrupt, but they had a bunch of like server bills apparently that they haven't been paying. And like everyone knows how expensive these like server costs can be, but they have all these server bills that haven't been paid. No one was funding them. They were in kind of a tight spot. They weren't profitable or making a lot of money. So they've just closed a round of funding or whatever, but they won't say how much money they raised. They won't say what the valuation is. They're being like super tight-lipped on this. Obviously, the implication is they did like probably a big down round from whatever the last round was. And that's not to say like their current investors are super legit, like that are piling in on this. They have like Greycroft, they have Sound Ventures, Lightspeed. They have the former Google CEO Eric Schmidt, who, shout out to Eric. I once made a podcast called the Eric Schmidt Podcast, and his family office called me up and got mad at me, told me to change the name. So shout out Eric. Still want him on the podcast one of these days. But they also had the Napster founder. He was also a Facebook executive, Sean Parker. He put a bunch of money in. So they're floundering. Now they have all these big boys that put money in. They're not saying anything about who it is. They put those people. So I think Sean Parker is actually going to be their new executive board chairman. And he's going to be sitting there with Greycroft's managing partner, Dana Settle. So like they're taking over the board.
Parker, all I think of with Sean Parker is like a YouTube short or like a reel. I keep seeing, I guess they made a movie about him, hey? And it's like, have you seen the one I'm talking about? It's like, it's him and a girl. Oh yeah. I don't think so. It's like, he's waking up like after just like this girl's in his bed and she's like, so what do you do for work? I'm like, tech guy. And he's like, oh, I built an app that like, where you can like stream all your music or whatever. She's like, oh, like kind of like Napster or whatever. And he's like, exactly like Napster. And then he's like,
oh,
I'm Sean Parker. And then
they're
like,
oh,
she's like,
you're LimeWire guy. Wait, is that the LimeWire guy? Is that from the Social Network, the Facebook movie?
Maybe it is. I wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it was Napster.
And she's like,
okay, yeah.
She's like, you didn't make Napster, like Sean Parker did. And he's like, I am Sean Parker. She's like, whoa. Dude, those movies are so
like
funny.
As if anyone. What a celebrity.
Like,
what a legend.
As if a girl would know. And then like they're trying to make like tech guys look super sexy, right? So it's
yeah.
Funny. But that's cool. So he's legit and he's in charge of this thing. And the company, we're talking about the people behind Stable Diffusion, or who are we talking about again?
Yeah, Stability AI, the people that invented Stable Diffusion that everyone uses. Right. So they were floundering big time. So like, here's my question for you, I guess, is like, if the number one company behind AI image generation technology is floundering to the point of doing a down round and getting their whole board taken over, hostile takeover by these VCs, could that happen to someone that seems like a front runner like OpenAI? Actually answered my own question. I think Microsoft already corporate took over them, so I guess yes.
Like a hostile takeover in that style. Yeah. As far as like competitive advantages go, though, I think if I were these other like even really cool like Midjourney and all these ones, like I'd be pretty worried, dude. Unless they can come up with like some serious differentiators, like a big moat, I think they're gonna get, as Sam Altman has said, steamrolled. It just seems like they're doing everything. They're doing video, pictures. It seems like they're gonna do it, dude. Like I wasn't around during the internet, like the .com era. Like I wasn't in the market. I was 5 years old. But I feel like OpenAI is gonna be the Google here.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, I pulled up images of Sean Parker in case you don't know what he looks like. He doesn't in my mind he looks different because I'm just thinking about what he looks like in the movie. This is Sean Parker, the man, the myth, and the legend.
That's not too far out.
Okay, here he is in the movie. This is what he looks like.
Yeah. The guy on the right. Yeah.
Which
so that is The Social Network then. Okay.
Yeah. Now
they're just trying to make they're just trying to make all the tech guys like sexy in this one. I actually haven't watched it all the way through, dude. I've seen like so many bits and pieces. That famous scene where like the guy who plays Spider-Man Garfield, Andrew Garfield, he comes up and he's like, I guess he represents a dude who was just like screwed out of the Facebook deal. Like his shares were reduced down to something. And then they're like, don't bug Zuckerberg, like he's plugged in. He's like, he's plugged in. And then they go over and like rips his laptop and like smashes it on the computer. Or smashes the computer on the table. It's like, anyways, I can't wait for someone to make a movie about my tech company, dude. It's going to be sweet. They're going to have to get like a pretty A-class celeb to play me, though. They're going to have to get like Ryan Gosling or Channing Tatum.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you had to pick someone, who would it be?
Who looks most like me?
Dude, I think
honestly, dude, Will Ferrell
would do a good. Will Ferrell would do a good job of making
55-year-old Will Ferrell, dude, or 60-year-old Will Ferrell.
That or Jack Black. I think Jack Black could do a good impression.
That's so funny, dude. Yeah, impression. I mean, I have such a nuanced way of speaking. It's so like easy to like just tap into my psyche. Dude, you know who could play you is the guy we were just looking at. The guy who played Zuckerberg.
Sean Parker. Zuckerberg.
No.
I actually think the real Zuckerberg would do a better job playing me. If I had to pick one celebrity to do it, it would be him.
For those who aren't looking at the screen, Jaden has like this curly hair. For
those of you that have no idea what I look like because you've never seen the podcast cover of this podcast with a picture of me on it, Matt will just describe it for you.
Imagine.
For those of you that aren't watching this right now, let me describe Matt. He's got kind of these spindly little arms.
Looks like I wouldn't know how to dig a hole if you gave me 5 shovels. Dude, I thought that your shirt, it says AI box, but dude, it was like wrinkled in the beginning of this podcast. I thought it said AI boy because like the bottom of the X was off, and I was like, I kind of like that. AI boy.
Yeah, that's AI great Twitter handle. I feel like it's kind of like BitBoy Crypto. You know, what's his name? I was just listening to an entire article about this guy's life. Did you know BitBoy Crypto? He, do you know who I'm talking about?
So he's a TikToker, like, pretty big on TikTok, right?
Yeah, big TikToker, one of the biggest crypto influencers. Dude, I didn't realize this guy's career arc is absolutely insane. And maybe this relates to this story we're talking about, stability, about being big and then almost going bankrupt, and then maybe they're making a comeback. BitBoy Crypto had a similar career arc as Stability AI. Watch me make this connection. He was kind of big in the first bull market with crypto. Then the bull market goes away. So then he pivots, and he's still trying to make his content, but he's more like Web 2 kind of like finance guy. And then the bull market comes back, so then he goes back to crypto. He shills a whole bunch of scam coins. Well, I mean, maybe some of them weren't, whatever. They're meme coins, right? So a lot of them got rugged. A lot of them got slow rugged, people say, which I always think is like a funny term of like the project is slowly failing, but they call it a slow rug. It's like, bro, that was your fault for not pulling out over a long.
It's the only place where you like invest in like the craziest non-assets, and then you're like, oh, they took my money.
Yeah, I got scammed in a slow rug. Like it never rugged, or the project never was successful. No, that's just called investing in a bad company that went bankrupt. Like, sorry. Anyways, so he promoted a bunch of that.
A bad company, like called like doo-doo coin.
Yeah. So people get mad at him. Whatever, that's fine. Then I think he tries to turn into like a vigilante. And when FTX was like going bankrupt and Sam Bankman-Fried was in the Bahamas, he flew to the Bahamas by himself and tried to like track down Sam Bankman-Fried single-handedly to bring him to justice. I can't remember how that ended up. I don't think he ever found him, and then he got arrested or whatever. But then, like months later, he went to go expose some other influencer about the Lamborghini that he had. There's some influencer bought a Lamborghini, and probably from shilling, crap coins. And while he was there exposing that guy, someone called the cops on him, maybe for some stuff he'd done in the past or maybe random. I don't know. The cops got called and BitBoy Crypto got arrested. But it was embarrassing for him because he was there with his girlfriend, even though he's married. So I'm not really sure why you go on a big expose campaign with your girlfriend, all the cameras, and the cops arrest you. And then he had like a gun in the car that was illegal or something. So he goes to, I don't know, prison or something. Something happens. Then he's out of prison.
He's ready to take Sam Bankman out.
Dude, get this. He appears before the SEC for what? Like influencer scam charges? No. To try to push a new ETF, to get ETF approval for, I think, Ethereum or Bitcoin. He played something in there. He goes and like appears before the SEC. And now he's making some like big plays. Interesting. What a career arc, man. He sold all of his assets during the divorce. Oh, he got divorced, obviously, after the scandal. Liquidated all of his assets, all his NFTs at the bottom of the market. So sucks for him. At one point, he's worth $40 million. Then he went down to being worth very, very little. And now he might be back in the game, playing a big role with the SEC. You see the parallel with Stability AI here?
Yeah, that was really good, dude. That was a good story. I like that.
It doesn't matter. You learned something very important about an influential player in the crypto and AI space. I mean, not AI, the crypto.
Imagine
space,
his grandkids one day, like talking about grandpa. Like, this, it's like grandpa was like a crazy, like he's basically like a crypto cowboy, you know, like just like he was hunting people down and taking names, and he had all these side chicks, and then he was like with the government.
And then it's pretty cool. Then he's with the government. Yeah, I mean, that's a great conspiracy. He could be like CIA, right? Or at least got busted for all his shady stuff, so CIA's taking him in now. That'd be a good one. In any case, I think it's gonna be interesting to see what does happen with Stability. What? Give me your stupid joke before I start talking.
I don't know. This might either totally get rid of your audience, or they're gonna love this. Actually, dude, I don't know if I can present this joke in a funny enough way. Dude, Corey and I, my co-founder, were just on a call this morning, and I was talking about like a piece of software that we had to like take and like move to another spot. So I'm like, you have to transplant that code or something like back to that spot. And then he's like, are you using the word transplant because you're trans? And I said, no, it's because I'm a plant. And then he said, dude, trans people are plants. Like CIA plants. And then he was in the middle of downloading Twitter so he could go tweet that trans are... It's like kind of like the
Twitter account.
No, he's like re-downloading it just so he can like tweet that.
Oh
like,
my God.
Transplants are plants. But it's kind of like the same.
Is he posting that from a same account or from his actual account?
From his actual account. I mean, he has no followers. It's just like, it's kind of like BLM or whatever. It's like black people are people too, or like any kind of movement where it's like these are people. It's like trans are plants.
Okay, my question is like, do you think he could get fired by his like employer for that?
Oh. Well, his employer is pretty ruthless when it comes to canceling people. It's me.
That's what I've heard. Well, I heard cancel.
Not even me, dude. He's go back.
I think he'll make it. Yeah, as ruthless as that is, I'm sure he'll survive. Okay, so here's something crazy. Stability AI had $4 million in their bank account in October. They've raised over $100 million in dollars, including for people like Intel. Like, what do you think they've been doing since October till now?
I thought we didn't know how much they raised.
Well, okay, so previous to this new fresh cash injection, they'd raised $100 million total. They were kind of this legendary company, and I'm not sure where they like fell out of fashion or why they had such a hard time raising. Is it because they had so low revenue and people were like, okay, you got $100 million with zero ROI, you just gave everyone away this for free with open source. When you did your image projects, give us a little alpha here. Like, what were you using to generate AI images?
So we used Stable Diffusion for a bit. A lot of like you've probably seen like those AI like LinkedIn profile picture makers, like create your own profile pictures, like the professional headshot things. I believe all those actually use Stable Diffusion. Most of them do. Now we switched actually, and here's some little insider knowledge. I don't share this with most people because it kind of takes away some of the magic from the AI Viking thing that I have. But
all right,
we
for those that don't know, Matt is the creator of, what is it, AIViking.ai?
.com.
AIViking.com. Oh my gosh, what a juicy name.
I know,
juicy URL where you can essentially you upload pictures of yourself and turn yourself into a Viking, a lot of Viking photos.
Yeah, so we use AI to classify the type of person so we can get like some of the hair and features correct. But then we're using Face Swap, and we're using a different AI. It's like a very niche company to like, I forget what it's called, to be honest. But it like just pulls faces instead of generating the whole image. What's the point of generating the whole image? The whole image is actually created by Midjourney because they do the best at like creating realistic looking, good, clean images. And then we can use this other AI tool to face swap on top of it. And that's the secret sauce, baby.
That's the secret sauce. So the reason why you say it spoils the magic is because people think they upload a picture of themselves and the AI just like magically generates this whole brand new image. The Midjourney, though, you only generated that once, and you're essentially using like a template with the face cut out and just swapping the face in and out of it, right? It's not like Midjourney is generating the image every time.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And like, while that would be cool, it's like I get to now vet every picture, so I can actually see like that every picture is good quality, so people aren't getting like randomly generated pieces of trash. Like I have quality control over it, so like every picture is manually created, and then the face goes with it, and they're cool Viking pictures, and like they look spookily like you, like they look really, really good. And so I should have like a promo code. I probably do, but whatever, just go buy it and make me money.
Go buy it. Go turn yourself into a Viking. I feel like
generated by it. Yeah, you're sponsored.
I feel like that's a good Viking sales pitch. Like if you had to make a sales pitch as a Viking, that's probably how you'd do it. There's no promo code. I won't loot your village. Okay, so here's my question though. When you make these AI Viking images, let's say I'm like Chinese or I'm black, did you have to generate variants of people with different skin colors of Vikings so that it could generate that? You're smiling at me like this is like a sensitive topic or something. Dude. I mean, like, how does that work?
Dude, it's not sensitive. There were no black Vikings, dude. So you want me to like literally go against history? All right, they did this in the last Lord of the Rings movie on Amazon.
Gemini, it made black Nazis. It made like it doesn't care about history, okay?
Dude, I could have done it for sure. It would have been wrong, dude.
So what you're saying is you didn't. So been wrong. Okay, so you're a man of real historical accuracy, but like legitimately, if I'm not white, your AI Viking isn't gonna work. Is that what you're telling me?
It'll work, dude. It'll just be like your face will be like black or something, and then the rest of you. Actually, you know what, dude? I think it actually might work. So like, hold on, let me pull up AI. I actually did it.
Try it, dude. Try it right now.
No, I did. I will.
Put a picture of Obama in there.
I took a guy from The Office, and I made him. It actually did change. Like, oh, you know what? You can't see other skin. I think it actually does match the skin though somehow, and I don't know how.
Because if it's a face swap, is it not just pulling it straight out?
I think it's more than face. I think it's skin. So like, here, wait, let me share this with you. All right, check this out. See, dude, look at this. I was using Office Cast. So this is, what's his name? Stanley, from The Office. And so, yeah,
that's awesome. That's hilarious.
But all the other skin, like her neck and stuff matches her face, or like their hands will like match. Yeah, all these are just showing like their like close-ups and stuff. But I want to see, yeah, look, his hand or finger looks like they got kind of screwed up actually. But yeah, it's black too. So I think it does work for black people. It's really,
So how does that work then? If you said it's just a face swap,
I don't know. Maybe it's not a face swap. I didn't obviously code it, so
Okay.
You know,
Well, okay. Well, I'm happy
maybe
to
it is
know
magic.
your technology is inclusive. That's awesome. I mean, legitimately, I mean, I think you make more money if this can be used by everyone. So I think that's great.
Dude, the tech is inclusive, but I'm not, okay? So, like, this was made... No, I'm joking.
I mean, at the end of the day, how are you going to scale this globally if if you can't have everyone in the world using it? What's next for AI Viking? What's the next niche you'd hit, or are you going to exclusively stick with Viking?
Dude, it's so stupid we're even talking about this because I made it as a joke, and it turns out, and I posted about it in Facebook groups, and people actually buy it, which is good and cool, and people like buy it for like their dad's birthdays and stuff, and I think that's awesome. Funny enough, dude, I actually just was talking to an influencer yesterday who wants to clone a version of it and sell it himself and like partner with me on it. So.
That's awesome. I hope he's ready for the blowback that it has.
Dude, no, he's all about AI. It's awesome. Like he's totally pumped about it. And the cool thing is, you could do fun stuff. Like it could tell you like what kind of Viking you'd be. Like, would you be a fisherman or like a freaking warrior or like a shield guy or something, or like a smith, like a swordsmith, and it'll tell you like what kind. And then I need to do all the marketing stuff. So there's email marketing, and I need to hire someone for that. Dude, AppRabbit is my main focus right now. It takes all my time. AppRabbit or PromptBox is my Chrome extension. That's next. I need to figure out marketing for that. I've been saying that for like months, but AppRabbit's too much. And then AI Viking.
Okay.
It's like my joyous release.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. What you're really saying is AI Viking is your true passion, and so what you wish you could spend your time on. So if you could, what would be the next? Like you obviously thought about this. Come on, you haven't just thought of this as a Viking company for the rest of your life. If you did any other niches, what would they be other than Vikings? Superhero?
Samurai. Superhero would be good. Superhero would be really good. But I'm trying to think who'd use that.
Would it make white samurai?
Well, I feel like white people have portrayed enough samurais and ninjas in like movies, like Tom Cruise was playing like The Last Samurai and stuff. So I feel like we've already culturally appropriated it enough to where I think people think that white people are samurais. So yeah, of course.
Actually, okay, to be fair, I have heard when you're trying to get into college, Asians are classified as white people. They don't get any special perks. So I've actually seen many Twitter threads. Don't get mad at me. I'm just repeating this. I have seen many Twitter threads where they say Asians are white people. So maybe it doesn't matter.
I think you need to work on yourself, dude. I think statements like that, you can't just fly them freely on the air like this, dude.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, I was just reading someone else's Twitter thread, so I'm retweeting. I'm raising awareness for the issue.
It sounds like you don't think that Asian people are any different than white people, dude.
I think everyone's the same. I just don't think anyone should get special perks. I don't think you should get special perks for your for being ripped. I don't think I should get any special perks for having curly hair, and yet here we are.
This episode's a racial and divisive one, dude.
This one was a little charged. All right, so wrapping it up, there's some amazing things that have happened with Stability AI. I wish them the best. I think that they have taken a bit of a tank in valuation. All right, place your bets. How much got knocked off the valuation from the last round? Knowing everything you know. They went down to $4 million in the bank in October. We haven't heard anything, and now it's July almost. So November, December, January,
so the
February,
valuation was at
May, June, July. 8 months later, on $4 million, they're running on fumes, dude. And then their board got taken over. They weren't managing things well. Stability AI took a beating. Let's be honest.
Okay, so you cut out when you said what is their valuation right now?
How much do you think their valuation went down? I think they raised $100 million, so I'm guessing they had a $500 million to $1 billion valuation. I'm not 100% sure. I'm spitballing it, but let's say that it was that. I would guess their valuation went down 50%, 40%.
That hurts. Yeah. Do you remember in the show Silicon Valley when like the Facebook type guy is like talking to a guy who did a down round in the bar, and he's like, talking him through it. He's like, hey, dude, what if you like just never raised a down round? Like, what if you just never raised money? It turns out his company would have been like way better because his valuation tanked and like he's just like depressed and stuff. He's like, what if I'd never done that? That would have I would have saved me everything. The down rounds can hurt, man. I'm gonna say like combined with the fact that OpenAI is steamrolling everyone, I'd say they went down 60%, dude. Because what does stability have that the other ones don't have right now? Besides like a sweet API that everyone's already using, which is cool, but everyone's going to be switching over to OpenAI because OpenAI, if they invest in infrastructure properly, they're going to be able to scale at cheaper cost and get a quality product. So it just makes sense. Like they're going to be the Google or the Amazon AWS or whatever, you know?
No, I agree. And here's the big thing that I think the stability I fumbled the ball on. They let themselves run out of cash for whatever reason. Maybe they thought they could raise, maybe, I don't know, whatever. Something was obviously wrong. They ran out of cash. Because they went 8 months from October till pretty much July before raising another round, that's 8 months with $4 million that their development didn't progress. Maybe they had some people like working on some stuff, but that like eight months of no development or slow development on an AI project is like suicide, because that's 8 months that OpenAI caught up to them. Any edge or any competitive advantage they had technologically is getting eaten by like everyone else. Google's doing it. Everyone's doing it. So yeah, I think they're in a bad place. Maybe 60%. That'd be rough.
Yeah, I only follow the things that are like new and cool, which is what everyone does with AI. And so it's like, dude, every now and then I'll hear like Google's AI thing just came out and it's better than GPT-4. And dude, I'm literally so bought into OpenAI that I'm like, I doubt it. Like, I doubt it's better. Like, I doubt it's, I'm not going to use it. And
do you use Midjourney at all?
I don't use anything anymore, dude. I only use GPT. I have it open in a tab. I always use it. I used it to write a contract for between myself and the AI Viking guy. And this morning, and I don't use anything, dude. I know like Microsoft and Bard and Google and whatever, like I hear all the Gemini, whatever. I do use Perplexity sometimes though, because it has a different use case. Yeah. Pulling deals from the internet, scouring current events. But GPT is going to have that. And when it does, it's going to eat Perplexity's lunch too. Like it's going to have everything. They have enough people, they have enough money, they have enough infrastructure, and they're already ahead. So I think they're just going to see what works in the market and they're just going to eat them up like Google did with so many startups. So I've heard when they first started going.
Yeah. I agree with you, but I also at the same time think that the AI landscape is not totally settled yet. I think that there's a big risk that everyone just defaults and is like, oh, I'll just use OpenAI because it's like the best. Recently, Anthropic's Claude, they keep like just edging out GPT-4. And while it's like just an edge out, so it's like, oh, whatever. I think it's an important move because so pretty much GPT-4 came out, it crushed it. Anthropic beat them like, I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago. They beat them for a while. Actually, you know what? They've been playing a pretty solid game of just keeping a slight edge on OpenAI for a while. So the first slight edge they had, I think was after GPT-4 dropped, and it was that they had a bigger context window. They're like, we'll let you upload like 100,000 words, and GPT, it was only letting you upload like, I don't know, 10,000 words or something. I'm trying to remember. Anyways, you get the idea. And so I would actually go use it. I would upload full documents or PDFs to Claude to get it to like analyze them, give me data from them. So that was actually really useful use case. Then they came out, then OpenAI followed suit and did this kind of the same thing. And it's like, oh, okay, well, that erases Anthropic's competitive advantage. Then Anthropic came out with a better model that actually on benchmarks was beating GPT-4. And I have a lot of people that would tell me like, yeah, I tried both and Claude gave me like a much better. This is the thing that people love about it, or that they tell me anyways, is that it sounds less robotic. So like when you use ChatGPT and it responds back, it's like, this is such a fantastically perfectuous like event that I will write about. It's like, it sounds a little bit too, I don't know, like professional robotic. You could just tell it's a ChatGPT. Claude didn't do that. Claude is a little bit more natural, and it beat a bunch of benchmarks. So I actually had a lot of people using that. Then GPT-4o came out and everyone's like, oh, okay, Anthropic's beat again. And Anthropic just a few days ago released another version that is now edging them out again on the benchmarks. So it seems like Anthropic's doing a good job of like not becoming irrelevant, like Inflection's Pi that just could never compete and just kind of got eaten by Microsoft and dissolved, like not really dissolved, but pretty much the whole team got acquired. So I think Anthropic's doing a good job. And so my only point with all of this is you say you stick like solidly to ChatGPT. I think there's other players that are going to still be made in the space. And you bring up Perplexity. That's a great use case. But again, that's not necessarily like a foundational model that they kind of have one, but it feels more like a software app layer on top of it.
At the very
Anthropic's Claude?
I haven't, dude, because
it's free. Claude.com. Try it out.
Dude, I'm already paying for GPT, although I don't know why, because this 4.0 is like better than the paid version a year or so.
I don't know why anyone's paying for GPT. I'm so confused what OpenAI's play is going to be here, because they're just trying to get distribution. So I'm paying for my whole company to have GPT 4.0. But then the issue is they were giving it away for free now. So like, I don't really know. I guess the higher rate limits, but then like Anthropic's Claude has kind of like better stuff now. So I don't know, honestly. I might mix it up and stop paying for it.
Yeah, it's $20 a month, and I pay for like the company pays for it. I use it all the time. It's amazing. All my developers, though, I think they probably do use like a Copilot or something, you know?
That's crazy. Well, I think that I think this is a big play. We'll see what happens with stability. The last thing I want to bring up on it that I do think is interesting is apparently, so they had Eric Schmidt came in, ex-Google CEO, and he made a deal when he came in and he made this investment. He actually made a deal with a bunch of their suppliers to forgive $100 million that Stability owed. This is probably to like cloud providers. And they also like gave them a $300 million line of credit to use more cloud services. I'm assuming this is probably to Google, like Google Cloud. It doesn't necessarily say who their suppliers are, but I'm assuming if it's Eric Schmidt, he could probably go and make Google strike a deal. This is interesting. Stability had to recently pivot from a subscription model. So they were $20 a month, or they pivoted to this. They're now $20 a month. I think they started this in December after they started running out of money in October. It is interesting. I think a lot of people give OpenAI flack for being like open source, nonprofit to closed source for profit. But at the end of the day, maybe we're watching what would have happened in slow motion with Stability AI, and as the company like essentially went bankrupt and had to get rescued. So maybe there's a good reason why this essentially had to be the case with OpenAI.
I like it, dude. That was a good catch. Yeah, the way your background's looking really nice.
Thank you. Well, if you enjoyed the episode today, if you learned anything new about Stability AI, the AI landscape, or if you have any complaints, feel free to, the positive ones, leave a review. The complaints, go find Matthew on LinkedIn, send him a message there.
Write them in your journal.
Write them in your journal.
Write them in your diary and then light it on fire.
I guess no complaints are being fielded, but we do actually appreciate everyone that tuned in. We hope you learned something new. If you want us to cover any new topics, do hit us up on LinkedIn. Let us know. We hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day.